Yeah, that's right. COVID-19, the government's and the governor's specific peacetime emergency, all were discussed today, but also on the agenda, a topic unrelated to our current crisis.
What has taken years to reach this point was resolved in a matter of minutes.
It's giving diabetics who manage this challenging disease every moment of their lives the peace of mind that as a state we're saying we care about your life.
The House, then the Senate, both passed the Alex Smith Insulin Affordability Act.
It's been a journey.
A milestone marked by Alex's mother, Nicole Smith Holt, who lost her son, the namesake of the act, when he rationed his insulin back in 2017.
A little voice in my heart. I think Alec was telling me not to stop.
Among the provisions of the bill, diabetics who cannot afford their insulin can get a 30-day supply at the pharmacy for a copay of $35. Meantime, lawmakers also tackled a package of COVID-19 related bills.
Representative Drazkowski is requesting a roll call.
Among the approved changes, making it easier for people to change their wills, extending the time for residents to renew their licenses, making sure health care plans cover telemedicine care, allowing people to apply for marriage licenses by mail or online, and adding to the shelves of Second Harvest Heartland. A day of debate and some agreement.
And the fact that we got insulin done right now in the midst of this pandemic it speaks to the fact that we are working together.
And that is a good thing, everyone says. But also there were people who actually introduced bills that would seek to end the governor's peacetime emergency. And we will have more on that debate coming up at 6 o'clock. Lauren?
It is a big debate. Carla, thank you.